What's up, YouTube fans? We are back today with a Wednesday Night Live, and we have some special guests today. So I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to have some of my channel supporters and just friends of the channel. So we have with us Mr. Carl S. And we have Mike Rogers. Say hi to the people. If one of you guys has YouTube playing, so I can hear it feeding back.
Taking care of that.
So we have in the comments Mr. G. Tony, who couldn't join us today in person. And then we have Dr. Diecast as well in the comments. And maybe Mr. Sean Diesel, who does paint, some custom paint for us, might join us a little bit later. So today we're just going to kind of reflect on the year, at least in Transformers world anyway. I wanted to ask you guys about Spider-Man. Did you guys see Spider-Man yet?
No, don't say anything. I'll kill all of you.
Not until Sunday.
I'm angry because I can't do anything without hearing something. I always have to walk away. So no, I will not.
So I won't say anything other than it's a good movie.
I'm on the last episode of Hawkeye, so I was told there are certain things I needed to watch beforehand. So like I've done Loki, I've done WandaVision, I've done a couple episodes of Hawkeye. So like I think I'm good to go and not miss anything because I can't stand it when I watch a movie and if I miss something or like I might have to rewatch like some of the earlier Spider-Mans to catch things that people have talked about. But yeah, I'm excited.
So Hawkeye, the last episode of Hawkeye came out today.
Yeah,
Spider-Man came out 4 days ago.
Yeah, last Friday.
And then there was the new trailer for the Doctor Strange 2 movie.
Ooh, I saw that trailer.
Yeah, so the trailer for Doctor Strange is in the Spider-Man movie. But
it was in it?
Yeah, I mean it's part of it. It's part of the movie.
Nice.
Without giving anything away, the trailer is in the movie.
Nice.
But yeah, really good movie. I won't say anything more than that. So don't ruin it for you. And Mike, you're going Sunday, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a friend who went, I think it was T-Man. T-Man went on opening night. And he saw it, and he's like, hasn't told us anything yet because we were still waiting to watch it. But so, what's the best movie you guys have seen this year? What would you say? And whoever's in the comments too, you can join in.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I really like Shang-Chi.
That wasn't well. I'll be honest. For once, it's nice to not have a movie whitewashed. To be perfectly honest. I think they did it really, really well. I mean, yes, there are a few parts that were a little corny or cheesy, but I think from start to finish, it really has your attention. Obviously, from anybody who's done the comics, understanding the rings and changing it more to bracelets is a bit different, but I still think the way that they did it works extremely well. But to me, I wish the movie was a little bit longer. That's just like most of the time, superhero movies, they're too short. I
haven't read the comics, so I went in knowing zero about Shang-Chi, and I really liked it. I thought it was a good movie. What about you, Mike? What was your favorite movie this year? Nerd related. Oh, did we lose Mike?
You flashed off for a second.
I said, what was your favorite movie this year, Mike?
Oh,
nerd related.
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't watched too terrible many this year. I've just been really busy with work and stuff, but I did see Shang-Chi. I enjoyed that one. I'm not sure, but the Matrix Revelations that came out today, so I'll probably watch that this evening as well.
Oh, was that today? Yeah,
Snyder's Justice League was much better than the Joss Whedon version, so I can put that one up there as well.
I didn't get through that one yet.
I think that was HBO Max.
Yeah. It was like 5.5 hours. And I was just like, I don't have the time.
Yeah. I got to watch. So my wife is luckily into all that stuff, all the Marvel movies, superhero stuff. So we watched Justice League, and she wanted the 4 hours back. She was like, "This is too long. It's not like it didn't. I mean, it was nice, but I just thought it was too long. That's why I wouldn't pick it for my top movie."
Well, people complain about like just too much slow-mo. Like I didn't get into it where that was, but like I guess Josh Whedon's like he's a big fan of like slow motion for like everything. But I was like, if it
out?
works.
I didn't even see Eternals yet. That came out?
Yeah, Eternals came out probably a month and a half ago, 2 months
Oh,
ago.
I totally
You know,
missed it.
controversy. I
It's
haven't
on
seen it
Disney?
either. Not yet. Hasn't dropped. I don't think it's dropped on Disney Plus yet.
Oh, that's why. I
No,
haven't
not
seen
yet.
Yeah, like I've just been waiting for things to hit. Like I saw Black Widow. I was absolutely garbage. It was. I mean, it just stinks because of how far back it was pushed. Like it was supposed to have been released 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Bad
And-
timing.
Yeah, and in the and that's the thing. Like but in general, even if it was released 2 years ago, I don't think it would have been that good. It just wasn't.
I do think the best thing out of that Black Widow movie was introducing the new Black Widow because she was amazing in the Hawkeye show.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
hilarious. That dynamic is something I want to see more of. I really do. Just
Yeah.
when she's like, I made you mac and cheese. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm really enjoying Hawkeye. And again, we
Yeah.
won't spoil it because there's probably people in the comments who haven't watched it yet. But the last episode came out today, episode 6. And it's been a really good series, so I'm sad that it's ending. Somebody said Darkest Hour. I don't even know what movie that is.
you know what that
I
is
don't know what
either.
Darkest Hour is.
Uh,
So we got one complaint that Eternals was too long. Another person didn't like Shang-Chi that much. Fight scenes were good.
honestly, if I had to pick a favorite, I think it was Spider-Man. I really think Spider-Man was my favorite movie.
Well, there was didn't that Godzilla and Kong movie come out this year too?
Oh, Godzilla versus Kong.
See, those are fun, but like to me, like I'm a big I love those types of movies. But same thing that gets ruined with Transformer movies. Just get rid of the people. Like I'm so happy. Like the first Pacific Rim was great. Could have been longer, more fight scenes, more kaiju. I love it. But when you start adding an unnecessary human interaction is when you start losing me.
Oh, I didn't even see Ghostbusters. That came out. When did that
That
come
was
out?
certainly really good. I keep forgetting anything. Thank you, Bud Ice, for ruining life for the past 2 years.
That's one I'm going to wait for it to come on streaming somewhere.
I do want to. I
Yeah.
heard it was really good though.
What platform would that come out? Is
That's
that
a good question.
that's not HBO?
I don't think it came out on a streaming service yet.
Yeah, I
No,
don't think it
so
did.
either. 'Cause I still want to see speaking of animated, I do want to see the Justice League Injustice. That hasn't hit HBO Max yet. I heard it wasn't great, but one thing in the superhero, I guess not continuity, but like the whole landscape, like Marvel owns live action. DC is just awful. I think the only good one that I've liked so far has been Shazam. But when it comes to animated movies, DC by far destroys everybody for that
Yeah,
type
they
of
have some really
I
good movies.
love DC because they make them rated R. And I think that's fantastic. Or they're PG-13. They're not made for kids. It brings
Right.
those of us who've been following these things for years, it brings a whole new dynamic. Like watching what was the last Apocalypse one, or if you watch like from several years ago, the Flashpoint Paradox, like those are
Right.
brutal.
Red Hood was pretty
Red Hood
good.
was fantastic. And these are things that we want. And that's something to me, like if you want to take Transformers to the next level, and I guess IDW is no longer doing the comics, it's moved to another company. But the smartest thing I think Hasbro could have done was to take a company like IDW
Right.
and raise it to like whatever between PG-13 and R, and make it to where like if you did Last Stand of the Records, if you did Last Light, and you made them a more graphic animated movie, not computer graphic, draw it 2D like it should be, and go from there. Like that is a very huge point that I think they're missing, because I think that would be absolutely
Rose
fantastic.
up a little.
Yeah. Hey, let me say hi to some people who are here.
Yeah.
We're already off topic. We're not even talking about that.
Sorry.
No, it's I asked the questions.
No, but last one, did you guys watch the Suicide Squad?
Yes. Oh, that was good.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, you mean Suicide Squad 2, right?
No,
Or
the
like-
Suicide
The
Squad.
second one, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Is it the second one or is it it's not a
It's a
sequel?
reboot. It's a reboot.
Yeah.
So
Just a
the first
different-
one is Suicide Squad. The second one is the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw it on a plane flying back from Disney, and I thought it was really good. It was a really good movie. I just Harley Quinn is basically the main character, right, in that movie, for all intents and
No,
purposes.
it's more Idris. No, in the first one it was. This one's it's Idris Elba and John Cena, and their dynamic is fantastic.
Yes.
Wait a minute. So am I talking about the wrong movie?
Harley Quinn's main movie was Harley Quinn and something else. So she got her own standalone movie.
The Starfish.
That Birds of Prey movie.
Birds of Prey was Harley Quinn. No, the Starfish was in the Suicide Squad, this latest one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like that movie a lot.
They're all good.
Okay, so let's say hi to some people. So we have what's up, Ricky Gregory, Ryan Kenshon, Rusty Mechanic. I just talked to him. Road Dog, Ridiculous Badger, Nathan Daniels. There's a lot of people here. Thanks for joining us. What we're doing today, if you joined late, we're just having a chat. We're talking about the year in Transformers. We haven't talked about a single Transformer thing yet. I do want to cover one thing though. I'm supposed to have a review up of these things, and then this thing, which is a add-on kit for Acoustic Wave. So basically, it just goes into here, and you can kind of show the tapes or like the robots jumping out of his chest. But if you've ordered from New Supply before, this is New Supply stuff. He's moving his website.
Speaking of them,
that's some of the
He's
stuff.
got some right there.
I just got this week from New Supply. It was the smoke effect for MP36. It's awesome. It fits great.
So I only hear you. I don't see it.
What's that?
I don't see your camera. I hear you, but I don't see your camara at all.
We have your lovely thumbnail.
It looks like it froze up again.
Yeah. I'll believe you though. You got the MP36 add-ons.
I'll just stick it here.
Those are nice.
Yeah, I got the blast effect for Fans Toy Sovereign, because obviously as we know that blast effect was
Garbage.
Limp.
It was also like 3 pounds. You couldn't hold
it was cool, but it was just too big. But the one that he did works really, really well.
Yeah. I think he's gonna New Supply's right here. Hey. Anyway, so he had to take the site, or maybe taking the site down, or maybe moving to a new location. So I didn't put the video up yet, but we're gonna put this up probably either late this week or next week. But this basically is set for Takara Tomi's version of Soundwave.
How's that?
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry.
Nice.
So yeah, there's the smoke effect that I was just talking about. So it fits really well inside the cannon. So another great purchase. I bought a couple things from New Supply for Quietus. I got his set based on your review, Sony.
Yeah.
Good. And for the mini bots, so they're all really, really good, really well made. So.
Yep. So that'll be coming out soon. I just wanted to mention why I advertised it early this week, but then I didn't put it out because he might be changing. So I'll put the new link to wherever the store is in that video.
Nice.
And he's here in the comments, so he can speak to it if he wants to. And thanks for joining us, New Supply. I also wanted to mention, what was the other thing I wanted to mention? The tapes, the tapes for Robot Paradise. Those are coming. I'll be having those probably Thursday or Friday. Carl's shaking his head because he probably doesn't like the tapes. I don't know.
I like the Laserbeak.
Yeah, the Laserbeak looks amazing. And also, I'm not sure about the Ravage yet. I had to see it in hand, but it already looks better than the Takara version as far as this just aesthetics. But I'll hopefully get that Thursday and be able to review it on Friday. If not, it'll be on Monday.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about Transformers. So what is your favorite toy that came out this year with regards to Transformers? It doesn't have to be a converting Transformer. It could be anything. Because I know, Carl, you like some of the action figures. Mike, I don't know if you got
in the beginning, I said I would never get, and in the world of collecting, never means absolutely nothing. I mean,
so what's the best thing you got this year, Transformers wise?
So for transforming wise, I think this is really hard. I'm gonna go with Hasbro's Scorponok with the upgrade kits. I just think that it is super imposing. I'm a big Decepticon fan anyways, but my next one, non-transforming wise, and he's probably my favorite figure in the entire collection, is Flame Toys The Fallen.
Wow.
This thing has insane presence. I did have a little bit of a hiccup to go through with it, but D4 Toys took care of me on that one. But this thing, yes, people can complain and say it borrowed from Tarn, but this thing just has presence, and I really appreciate that. I don't like things to just sit there and you just walk past and don't notice it. Every time I walk past this thing, I'm just like,
Can you want to show it real quick? I know you had it right there.
oh yeah. So
and then there's a question for you.
oh dear.
Is Carl an admin of TDG? So TDG stands for Transformers
Game Group. And yes, I am more than likely the guy that spins all of your games. I am the one who's usually doing that, playing rock music. So I kind of had him on the stand with some poses. But what was nice about this one, I replaced all the batteries because I think the ones that came with it were slightly weak. So it does light up more. But yeah, as you know from his review, when you order from D4 Toys, certain versions will come with upgrades. Like the Megatron that came out comes with like a gun case. This one, he comes with just this massive flaming chainsaw.
Yeah,
is really, really nice. There's just so much playability to this, and they're just really, really fun. I'm, obviously from seeing some other reviews, I'm kind of not happy about what's going to happen with this. I have the Dark Star Saber on the way, or Leo Saber, but I don't have much connection to that one. But it's just amazing what this company has done with this thing. But regardless of it being Flame Toys, I still have plenty of gripes with the company. There's a lot of things they could do better.
But that's an impressive piece.
Yes.
Let me quick plug this, and then I'll move on. So there's probably people who have never heard of this. So Transformers Game Group is a Facebook group where they play games, and you can win Transformers. So if you're interested, just search Transformers Game Group on Facebook, and then you can join, and you will probably see Carl spinning for the games. And it's fun.
I just won this. Literally. Thank you, Grant. So that's the Master-Made constructor. So yeah, there's anything that's Transformer related. It could be G1, glasses, anything that's Transformer related. So it's a good community where everybody looks after each other. We have fun. We take care of each other. It's just it's a place where we all get to nerd out.
Rusty Mechanic says, I hate the names Fibrier and Ribfear. So yeah, they played a joke on us, and the first one was called Fibrier, which is Frenzy is blue, Rumble is red. And the next one is Rumble is blue, Frenzy is red. So they're playing off their trick. Mike, what's your favorite figure for the year? So
from this year, there's been I kind of went a little wild this year in regards to just trying a variety of different figures. And it's a toss-up for me. The first one is one that just came out, and that's the MMC Optus Nox, their Nemesis Prime. Mm-hmm. I missed out on the first one, but this guy is just super, articulated, and just the ideas that I have in my head for some of the work I'm going to do back in here with this guy, it's just, it's really impressive for what,
I agree.
For what he is, with the size wise and stuff, but he's just really cool. The other one in a tie is the Deformation Space Starscream. And
that's a good one.
That's a bit of a pickle for me, because I did pick up the Takara Tomy Thundercracker just to see how both of them kind of figured out and which way I was going to go in regards to getting the Seekers. And I'm still debating on that. And I know that
me too.
The Thundercracker for Deformation Space is coming out here soon as well. So
right.
And their Skywarp.
It's really cool. I haven't, and you're going to laugh at me, I haven't braved transforming it yet. So
you got to transform.
It's on my list of things.
That has to be part of your evaluation.
Don't feel bad. You could be like some of us who are stuck with Make toys and still waiting on our cone heads.
You're gonna be waiting a while.
Here.
Grant Zarkey says FT Soundwave. He's up there for me. I'm not gonna share my best figure for the year because I'm gonna make a video for it, obviously. So I don't want to give it away now. But the ones you guys mentioned are in there. They're in those top few.
What I mentioned last week, though, is that other, I can't remember what her name is, but it's the IFO1, the female version of Tarn. I was so angry. I pulled her out of my cart and I didn't order it.
Lady Culture?
Yeah, I am.
Culture.
I'm not happy about not taking care of it. As you said, you mentioned, and I think somebody else mentioned, there's supposed to be a reissue. I'm definitely pulling the trigger on that one. I'm not missing that one.
Right.
Now, Carl, I didn't hear some of the stuff, but did you say anything about Acoustic Wave at all? Because I mean, I got him, and he's there. He looks cool, but it's kind of like the main debate everyone has had in between Takara Tomy Soundwave and then the rope fan toys.
So I have was it the Hasbro? Was it MP2? And I have Acoustic Wave. I do like tune accuracy, so I do like him. I like the heft. I think he's somebody who's gonna hold on for a while. I just, like, as you heard when he was talking about the tapes, I have all the MMC tapes and some of the extra ones. And I had an argument with somebody on one of the TF pages before about good business practices and what should happen and what shouldn't. But I would have preferred Acoustic Wave to at least come with Rat Bat to be perked on the shoulder or the forearm and not get Rumble or Frenzy. But yeah, I just think, to me, I don't care for the tapes because I have all the MMC ones. But for MMC, the only ones that don't work are typically Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. But
I mean, it's obviously done that way to sell, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you didn't, if he came with Laserbeak, then honestly nobody would buy any of the tapes. You know, that's true. It's just business practice. But yeah, my for whatever his name is, don't really care. He's just sitting inside of Acoustic Wave's chest. But I really do like the way he looks, and I think the smartest thing that Fans Toys did is you do like people who are tune accurate and toy accurate,
right.
And they were smart, and they scratched both of those itches for people, so you could literally do whatever you wanted. And I think that's a fantastic thing that I've noticed Fans Toys has not been doing lately, where their accessories are becoming less and less and less and less, which is just like, because Quietus had a ton of accessories. That was the difference between IDW and mainline. That was smart. Sovereign had accessories, and then suddenly it's like nothing.
I mean, maybe it's because they're putting more into the toy and less into the accessories.
What, when you don't have a double elbow bend? Okay, careful when you say I'm putting more into the toy.
Gotta have that. let me get some of these comments. Ryken says SS86 Hot Rod. That was actually a good retail figure. I will give him that.
Overpriced.
SS86, that's like $30, isn't it?
And another good thing that, at least for me, I've only been collecting really since last March, so that's another story altogether. But another thing that G Tony and some of the other guys were talking about in the chat was the Gigapower releases. So that's been a big boon, and that was one of your recent comparisons there, Sonny.
They have tons of accessories.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yep,
let's see. Road Dog says Rig looks dope. We don't have him yet, so I can't say if he's a top figure or not.
Yeah, he's coming out. He probably won't be out until next year. I bet you he'll be pushed like right before Chinese New Year.
Road King is like 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. He's gotten like 3 reissues.
Got the tapes on pre-order. Let's see if anybody else mentioned Deformation Space Starscream. I think that's going to be up there in the top 5 maybe. That's a pretty good one. Let's see any other ones. Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh wow, we're really far behind. Ryan says he's won 8 different games from Transformers Game Group. Wow, that's a lot of wins.
A huge list of the things I've won since the beginning.
That's a lot of
Gigapower. So yeah, there's everything. Like, somebody was cool. So somebody was lucky enough to win a Fans Toys Dracula and Lupus in the same raffle last week.
Nice. Wow.
We had one of our members won HasLab Unicron for $20.
That's pretty good. Rusty Mechanic says, I'm stuck in a 3-way tie for figure of the year. MP52, DS01, and Acoustic Wave.
I think you can move MP52 out of there because of the knees.
So I don't have the issue, but I can see if you do, it would obviously not be in there, right? All right, let's move on. New Supply says he's making effects for Lady Coulter. That'll be interesting.
Well, I need her.
You just need to get it. Yeah.
Did you guys get Ono, the TFCon exclusive?
I wasn't excited about any of them.
You bought it, Mike?
Yeah, I have it. I got a pre-order from ages 3 and up, and then I got the MMC Hellion reissue from Toy Jojo.
So we don't have it in hand yet, right?
What's that?
You don't have it in hand.
Mm-mm.
So we can't say if it's in the top figures, but I'm going to guess it's not in the top figures for the year.
Is that the one? Is that the one with Jack Skellington, the Santa Claus thing? That
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
That
Santa
was.
Claus.
I was so lost when I saw those pictures. I was just like, "What? Whatever."
All right. So now I'm going to ask worst Transformer for the year. What's the worst thing you bought or you regretted buying once you got it? Excuse me.
I'm very finicky about what I get because I'm one of those ones where I would rather watch like a million reviews and talk to a lot of people first. So I
can go first.
Go for it. Yeah, you go first.
Yeah.
So the number one thing I didn't actually mean to buy it. I bought it because it was G Tony's and I broke it and I felt bad. So I said, I'm going to buy this because I don't want to send you back a broken toy. It's the Zeta Toys red something. What's his name? Their Starscream, whatever he's called. That's a terrible figure. I mean, it's a nice budget figure, like almost like a KO.
It froze up again.
But it broke immediately. And then I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this is not a great design. What was that, Mike?
I said I didn't hear you. You were both frozen for a second.
Yeah, I think you've got a tough connection. You might want to relocate.
Yeah,
I can hear Carl and he can hear me.
All right.
But yeah, so I think Red Spider, that's his name, Red Spider. That's probably my worst for the year. Rust Mechanic says DS01 Transformation. Yeah, the figure is good, but the transformation is not great. Ricky Gregory says MMC Bugs was the worst figure of the year. So I got a chance to
look at Bugs came out like a while ago. Those are
they're pretty old. Pretty old.
Yeah, see that. Those are the first set of bugs that I received.
Yeah, I'm really talking about 2021 issue, figures.
I can make that
Kingdom
easy.
Tracks. Someone said Kingdom Tracks. Did you guys get to handle Kingdom Tracks?
I don't buy.
You don't buy retail.
I would say the only chug that I bought is their Gnaw. Until there's an MP one, I just have that for my movie shelf. I don't know. I really don't I don't think there's anything this year that I regret buying because most of the stuff that I've ordered just hasn't come in yet because it's sitting on a boat.
That's true for a lot of people.
So
yeah. So it's just like I'm sitting there being like, I mean, yeah, I don't really have any regrets for what I bought. Like I said, just because I spent a lot of time doing research. Like I'm one of those weird collectors where I don't need something right now. Like I was still really happy with getting that Acid Swarm from TF Source. Like I still think that was a great figure.
So you wait till what? Like the reviews come out, or
until I start seeing like you and a few other people seem to get a few things because it depends. Like I live literally 7 miles from the Chosen Prime.
Oh, so you can just drive in.
Really bad. I can just message, be like, "Hey, I want to purchase this," and go and pick it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been really. I mean, I think it came out. No, that was the end of last year. When did Dr. Egg drop? Was that last year, the very beginning? Of this year?
No, that was earlier this. Actually, I don't remember.
I want to say it's like on the cusp. It's really that's one of those ones that was like really on the cusp. I would say that's probably my most disappointing figure because of the fact that no, it didn't break. I had no issues with it breaking, but I think
mine broke.
What did you do?
So I put the batteries in, and first of all,
the right batteries.
Yeah, that's the first problem. Is the batteries are very, very specific. So I had to go on Amazon and find it. They shipped it. I put the batteries in. The unit works, but the remote didn't work. And so I sent it back to the person who sent it to me for review, and they said, "Oh, I'll just contact TF Source and they'll send me a new one." Nope. They wouldn't send him a new figure. They were like asking for all these things. Like they wanted him to pay the shipping to send it back to them. Basically, now you're out the figure and the money, and hope you trust that they send you back the thing. And that's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard that a couple times that now they're not really honoring. Like
I don't really do much business with them anymore. And even then, their Black Friday sale was pretty subpar. But the reason why I just say like I'd probably say that was the worst figure was because the price versus value was so far off. And the batteries
you paid the full price?
I did not. I spent a lot of time researching where to get stuff from. Like I just picked up exhaust, the Takara Tome exhaust for $70. So it's just like I'll look all over the place. I'll figure out shipping and then I'll pull the trigger on stuff. But I got them off
Okay.
the Oh My Primus for like $140. But then Black Friday was on sale for like 125. But I didn't pay full retail. 175 was way too steep just for something that spun around in circles.
Yeah.
But I just say like overall, like that's probably what I'd say would be the worst figure, just because like price versus value just didn't match.
Did you buy XGB Lock? So Road Dog says XGB
No,
Lock
I
is
have-
cool,
I have
but
proof.
worst figure of the year.
Who?
Road Dog says XGB Lock is cool, but still my worst figure this year.
Version 1 or version 2? Because even then, version 2 still sounded subpar.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, understood. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I didn't get him. I have Coot.
Well, so we have a supporter of it, I think, here. Mike, how's version 2?
I mean, after getting 1 and dealing with that debacle for literally the entire year, version 2, I mean, he's solid. He has a lot of better tolerances than the first one. I mean, I could pick up the version 1, and I should have brought him up here. And he just flopped around like a fish. So I mean, it was just built like crap.
Was that one of your worst for the year? Or?
It really is, yeah. Because I mean, I've been doing this year was a lot of backlog fills in regards to getting a lot of figures that have already been out and then reissued, and I haven't had a real bad figure this year.
Right.
So I think it's more the process that really struck it raw. And I definitely see how a lot of fans were put off from the company. On top of that, with what happened with the trailer for Menasor last year, leading up to it. But
then they made like 50 reveals of different things.
Yes, and that's the thing. Where they kind of stumbled in regards to releasing, they're trying to make it up with regards to quantity. Now, hopefully, the quality matches all that.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think you mentioned that a couple times in some of your videos. And you can see it.
Half of that stuff on pre-order, so I'm rolling the dice.
Absolutely, and I did the same thing with the Protectobots. I mean, you reviewed Fuzz, and I have him, and his quality is completely different from when I picked up Groove here late last month. He arrived, and it's a totally different figure.
So it
it really feels like two different companies made these guys.
What's your thoughts on this question? Odds we see Make Toys Coneheads in 2022.
Spoken to a few people, and the answer is going to be more than likely Make Toys is done.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. And actually, I heard they went into a different business. They're not doing third-party Transformers; they're doing something else. But it's all rumors, anyway.
I posed a funny question: how much would you laugh if basically this whole Deformation Starscream is basically them, and they're just starting over again? Like, I would laugh so hard, and they're just like pumping all these things out now.
Rusty Mechanic wants your seat, Mike.
He can join in if he wants to.
I will say this about X-Transbots. What I give them credit for that I don't really think any other company has done, and I don't know if this is just due to Mike Lorber, but the fact is that they communicate.
Yeah.
You know, you sit there and you try and get a hold of Fans Toys and you hear nothing. Like, you have to wait for somebody to get an in with somebody at Fans Toys to answer 5 questions, and they're cryptic. You know, with Virtus,
they don't really answer questions. They rarely answer questions.
Yeah, and
unless it's a part. They do send out parts, but
yeah, it's cryptic. But like, at least with X-Transbots, especially when they were working on color palettes for their Springer, they were talking to people. They take in feedback, which I think is what was their saving grace after both the trailer and Lockie or whatever his name was. Because like, honestly, I was ready to be like, well, I don't really own too many of their figures. I got a couple of the KFC Junkions.
He might be in the comments, by the way.
Who, Keith?
No, Mike, not Keith.
I'll be like, okay. It's like, yeah. It's like, I'll never get it.
He joins once in a while.
I think, we had him on a live stream for a while. He shared a lot of good information with us and insight with X-Transbots and whatnot. But at least, and I think that's the saving grace for them, is that they're communicating with the fans, and that says a lot about a company. They don't have to, because they know we're going to buy it.
Yeah, to tell us anything. Yeah. So Ricky Gregory says, for me, Acoustic Wave, because I had a bad hip for Frenzy. Oh, that sucks. I think I had a slightly loose hip, but it wasn't like broken. Sounds like
he would never come out of his cassette.
But it's a pin hip, so I mean, it's prone just to get looser over time.
Okay, now I gotta look up Dr. Egg, because I can't remember if it was this year or not. Did you get Dr. Egg, Mike?
No, I did not.
I got the chance
I
to
made a
review it.
comment on X Transbot's page for whatever the execution or the next one that's coming out. I was like, please just get rid of the stupid twirling arms. Nobody cares. Really, just save it and cut
You
off
don't
like
need it.
butts.
You don't need it.
Yeah, I mean,
it was this year.
As
It
long
was-
as
it
the
was-
tentacles like articulate.
It was early this year. It was like January, February this year.
So write that cut off.
So very early. Oh, Lowell says if my MMC Optizox shows up before the end of the year, that will be toy of the year. I will say that's up there. It's in the top few.
Just wish
Yep.
it was bigger.
Let me see if I got any others.
Now, I saw a comment before I went off that someone was asking what the most anticipated one for 2022 is from us.
That's how my questions. So we're going to get to that one.
Oh, okay.
So, but since you brought it up, let's talk about that. What's your most anticipated for 2022?
I think one of them that I have on pre-order that I'm still waiting on that was supposed to be released this year was that stylized aerial bot, that slingshot from Dreamstar Studios.
Yeah, Dreamstar.
So, and watching everyone else get these train bots from Zeta would be nice as well.
Studios?
Oh, Moon Studio, yeah.
I don't understand anybody who would spend $209 with Takara, with Moon Studios being like $130.
They reduced the price, so they even on Hasbro site they went down from 200 to 160 now. So
Wow.
$50 reduction across the board. Probably because they realized it was too much.
Yes. And that's been an issue I've had with buying Takara Tomy is a lot of their stuff is super overpriced.
G Tony says I'm never transforming Locke again. So the general consensus I understand is it's really good looking in both modes, but they hate transforming it. But it looks
Isn't
great.
that like every Fans Toys figure? They look great, but hate transforming it.
Not
okay, cool.
every, but quite a few.
Majority.
Oh, is it customer service fan? Yeah, I don't think he was talking about customer service. He was talking about transparency into
Right, just how they communicate.
Yeah, but I think that's a big aspect for a company because they even showed, like, as an example, like Springer's the one that always comes to mind because I want that damn thing to come out. Like changing up the color palettes and asking questions or telling them that the face was slightly off for the proportions, and they go back and they work on that. Taking that feedback says something.
And the fact that they told us it's going to be delayed because they're doing that. Right?
Yeah.
They actually told us, hey, it's coming late.
Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be next month.
Yeah, good social media presence. That's mostly Mike Lorber who's doing that.
Yeah. He's up in Canada, I believe.
Yeah. Yep, he's in Canada. Let's see. Just trying to see if I missed any others. So what did you say your anticipated was the Dreamstar toys?
For him, yeah, him for his Dreamstar.
What did you say, Carl?
I haven't said yet. Because the ones I'm hoping for, it's probably going to be delayed forever, but I'm looking for Fans Toys Chomp.
Chomp, okay. It was supposed to be this month, but I think it's just going to be the first quarter.
Yeah.
So you might not have to wait too long.
Yeah, but so my thought process would be is if he comes out, I'm hoping for a reissue of Lupus.
Oh, yeah.
There's a terrible name to pick for.
Don't you have Lupus by now with all the ones on Transformers Game Group?
No, it's the one game that I've wasted probably the most money on and never won. So let's just not go there. Can we? Next question.
Yep. I feel the same way, and I don't want to talk about it.
Dude, I came in second on all of them.
I've played so many games for Lupus, but then I ended up just Dr. Diecast actually, which he's not in the comments, which is strange, but he sold it to me, so I finally just gave up and bought it.
But my issue is I couldn't. And my other thing is this: like I was in car sales and customer service and a bunch of other stuff for years. Like, and I've mentioned it before: price versus value. I can't pay $600. I don't care about being a completist. Yeah. But if a figure came out and it was worth $144 and it had issues right off the bat, no ankle tilt, that little backpack on the back falling all the time, I'm not paying $600 for it.
Right.
No.
Shadowbird says FD Blitzwing. I really want a Blitzwing. I don't have a Blitzwing. I really want one, but I highly doubt it's going to come out next year. But we'll see. That's what I want.
I would hope at TFCon LA just to make people really angry. Just because that's where because like when it was in LA last time is when they showed off the pictures of the remodel of it.
Right.
They'll do the same thing again.
They redesign it again.
Just
Ricky says FT Cliff Jumper. I don't even think that's on the slate for 23, but or 22. We'll see.
Because they threw out Cliff Jumper, Mirage, Jazz.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see those for like another 2 years. With whatever they've got already stirring in the pot, I don't see those coming out for like another 2 years because we're all still waiting on Bandit and the next aerial bot.
Well, so let's. I think that's a good bet for 2022 is Bandit and the rest of the combiner, if you're looking for it. So I think New Supply said it. FT finish their combiners. I think they will finish at least Menasor in 22. So I don't really care about Chomp. I'm not it looks good, but I'm not a Headmaster guy. So I'm looking for what was the other one that they teased?
Yep. Didn't you pre-order Hannibal?
Oh, Cerebro? Yeah.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered him.
I did, but it's not like I'm not super excited for the Headmaster guys. I like them, but what was the other one that they had a pre-order for, or they had a tease for?
Oh, they were doing Chrome Dome.
Chrome Dome, no, but there's another one.
No, you have Lupus, Dracula. So for Decepticons, it's Lupus, Dracula, and Chomp are the three that they've got.
Yeah.
Then for the Autobots, you have things like Trigger Happy. I don't know what their name. I don't care for
There's
Autobots.
Chrome Dome and Iron Will.
Hardhead.
Hardhead.
Yeah, which they have, which basically Make Toys did.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta look it up. No, I was talking about a non-Headmaster, just a release that Fans Toys put up. That's probably my most anticipated. I just can't remember which one is coming.
Oh,
here we go.
Outback.
Here's everything that's coming.
Okay.
Chomp, Trailbreaker, Berserk or Blitzwing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hoist, probably. Bandit. Bandit is probably my number one anticipated figure for 22 because I want to finish Menasor.
Yeah.
But I couldn't wait, and I went the way Mike did, and I bought the DX9. How do you like the DX9 combiner now that you've had it for a little while? Menasor.
I think he's great, and I did pick up some customized parts. One from eBay was a 3D printed chest symbol, which clips into the two tabs on his front of his chest. Because again, the whole thing with DX9 and that Menasor is that the whole front is really plain.
Yeah,
it's just black and gray. I never got a chance to get the parts that you could swap the cars to the front of the legs instead of the back.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know if he's making that kit anymore.
He's not. I tried.
Yeah.
I actually talked to him not too long ago, and he said
I really want that.
So did I. I love DX9 because that was actually a figure. That whole setup is playable.
Right.
It's fantastic. I think there's some elements that they could have used from X-Transbots. Like I think that they could have painted the arms the same color as the bots. I think that's really the only missing figure. And then yes, a little bit more, paint. But I love that DX9 figure. I love him.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few others. Fort Max.
I'm not getting a 4 foot. I'm not getting a 4 foot. I'm keeping my wife. Okay.
I'm going to get the head, but I don't know about the rest. Tesla, their version of Perceptor.
I think Jansen looks better.
That's going to be 2 or 3 weeks.
That's it's probably soon, but you're talking about the XTB, right?
Well, the XTB is going to be probably out in the beginning of next month, but I thought the Tesla 2.0 was going to be out shortly afterwards. I don't know if they're actually fighting to get in front of XTB or not.
No, I don't know.
I've already seen 2 videos online of X-Transbots Jansen Chinese reviews.
Yeah, I think it's ready.
Really, really good. Yeah, I think he's done. I think it's it's shipping now. And I think, honestly, it's going to be better than Fans Toys.
Yep. Rig is the next one, Jazz and Mirage. So that's everything that's on the docket. But I think probably Bandit is probably my number one anticipated. And then maybe Tesla. Depends if X-Transbots is, if they come out and how good it is.
Well, I'll send you mine. You can review it.
Which one?
Jansen.
No, I have Jansen coming too.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was like, I already have it coming. So, yeah.
All right. New question. What's a new collection that you started this year that you didn't collect before? And it doesn't necessarily have to be Transformers, just anything. What's something that you bought that you weren't expecting to buy, weren't planning to buy, that you started buying this year for some reason? I'll go first if you guys need to
Go
think.
ahead.
I'm not doing anything. I'm one of those ones where I'm rigid. I am only doing Transformers. So like
Sticking
it's
to it.
tough. It's really tough. Because I toy hunt for a lot of people.
Oh, you like go out and find stuff. What about you, Mike?
Well, the only thing I fell in and then as now I kind of fallen back out of, I was doing G.I. Joe Classified for about 2 seconds, and Winston helped me get a couple figures like Breaker and such. But I had him sitting at my desk at work, and I was kind of looking at it off and on. I'm like, yes, it hits a little bit of nostalgia feel, but it's not the same. It doesn't get you the same drive that you do with like getting Transformers and figuring them out and trying to figure out a way to tell a story through a diorama or display setup. So I had that for, like I said, maybe 2 minutes, and now I'm kind of done with them. So anything else that I had pre-ordered beforehand that they released, I've already canceled all that stuff, and
You can get rid of it.
I'm debating on getting rid of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
did the same thing.
I just found out that my Snake Eyes and Timber set that I forgot to cancel shipped today, so I'll be getting that probably next week as well. So I'll just sit there and look at it.
Forever.
So, and the only other thing that I'm kind of phasing out, and I think you were doing the same thing, Sony, is just the mainline stuff. I mean, I was going hard and getting, the Siege and Kingdom lines, and then I'm just like, well, they're sitting here in a box because I don't play with them enough or try to work into a display because I'm focusing on my masterpiece displays, and they're just sitting there. So I was like, well, Kingdom kind of closed out on a high note for me with some of these figures, and I'm good with them.
Yeah, I think I'm also, so I did the same thing. I started my G.I. Joe collection. I bought them all. I found every single one, bought them all. Now I'm like, why did I buy these? So now and actually probably it's going to go on the game group is my guess. I haven't decided yet, but
it will go on the game group. G.I. Joe is, I will say this as being I've had spreadsheets with people with stuff I've needed to find, and I will say with a passion, I hate G.I. Joe Classifieds, the Target exclusive.
You mean
people
fight to find them?
Yes, people fight and scalp those to no end.
Yeah.
I think Hasbro did a really good thing with those. The reviews on them are top notch.
But now they made them available on their website, which is I think what's improved that problem. You can actually buy it on the Target website when you couldn't.
Yeah, because they were just so bad with getting distribution out throughout the year for a lot of these figures, and that's where you saw Major Blood going for like $400 online. It's just,
but that also comes down to this whole Bud Ice issue as well, because like I spent the last 2 years helping out several people finding things like the Target exclusive TMNT or the Walmart exclusive movie TMNT, and for like a long time.
Hold on. So not everyone knows why you're saying Bud Ice. So
because I don't want this to get flagged. Yeah.
So if you're not aware of what he's talking about, Bobby came up with the term Bud Ice to talk about the pandemic. So this video doesn't get flagged as something talking about the pandemic. My video has never been flagged for that. I don't know how it happened to him, but for me, it's never been a problem. But Bud Ice is our name for the pandemic.
I just don't want to take any chances. I'm here on as a guest. I don't want to. So, but it's just those things where it's like the limited resources on a lot of figures. Like McFarlane wasn't too bad, but NECA as a whole was really, really bad.
Yeah.
Trying to find any type of NECA figure. And then the other one was He-Man Origins. But I will say this, out of the figures that I've hunted for people, and I don't care if you liked or disliked that new version of He-Man where Kevin Smith did, that thing was absolutely fantastic and really well drawn.
Pretty nice.
Those figures are awesome. They are really well detailed for a great price point. Like I've found tons of them, but like those things to me are extremely impressive.
Yeah, NECA was weird. I've found those He-Man too, but the NECA was like didn't show up in stores at all. Now it's like sitting overstocked at the store. All right, let me get some of these comments because I missed a whole bunch. Darkman says, I want to know when the acoustic... cassettes are shipping right now.
Yep.
So they're out.
Just got some.
Yeah, the U.S. retailers are getting them now, so you should be, depending on where you ordered, probably the next week or two. Let's see. David says I just recently picked the shin plates from wait, shin plates? Oh, he's talking about the
He's with the
DX9.
DX9.
Yeah,
Where?
I wish you could get them.
I know.
I if he's watching this, Sean, we want your stuff.
Yeah, because even if you still keep the cars on the back legs, it just improves the connection point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My wife has already made space in the basement for Fort Max. Wow, that's awesome. You have a nice wife.
Oh, keeper.
My wife would definitely question, what the heck is that thing?
It's your next baby.
All my Transformers are off the ground. Like, actually, you can see in the background, like nothing takes up any room anywhere, right? Any floor space is reserved for other stuff, so it doesn't really bother her because it's off the ground.
Yeah, my old display was on Bobby's collector's montage thing. I've moved my stuff around, but yeah, all my stuff is either in a glass case or on floating shelves. Nothing's on the floor.
Jermaine says he got into hot toys. Oh, that's an expensive hobby to start.
That's dangerous. That's really
very
cool.
Expensive.
Hot toys, Mezco.
Yep.
There's another one. What's the other one that's really big?
SHF.
Well, SHF, but I don't think they've made the bigger figures. There's something else. I thought it started with an F. Yeah, but it's not. I stay away from that. Too expensive.
3 Zero is really nice too. I've almost been considering them. Osag says Hot Wheels. I have never gotten into Hot Wheels, but I heard a lot of people collecting those.
And it's sold out. That section's been cleared out in my Target. I saw that yesterday.
Really? Oh, I have tons of Hot Wheels there where I am. Marvel Legends. Yeah, I never started that, but I was tempted many times.
I found many of those.
I think I bought one. I bought a Spider-Man, and then I was like, "Yep, this isn't for me." But they're cool. I'm collecting debt.
I thought that was a given.
New Supply says he's collecting debt in the TF space. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Afro Alien says a couple of Bayformers. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the Bayformers.
No.
So like,
that's kind of the direction of Transformers right now is more Bayformers and less G1.
Well, what was that video that Dr. Diecast kind of sent out? That was is that the new Megatron or whatever it is from the new Bayformers movie? Or was
with
that
the Rise of the Beasts or whatever?
What's that?
Wait, I don't know if it's a Megatron from like the Rise of the Beasts, the latest movie they're supposed to be doing, or the Bumblebee 2.
Which Megatron? Oh, you're talking about Nero?
I'm not sure which one it was. He was like the old rusted rig with the forks in the front.
Okay, yeah.
It just looked like a real pain in the butt to transform.
Yeah.
I thought that was Bone Crusher.
No, there's a new one that's like really like heavily painted, heavily detailed, but it's not from the new movie. It's from the old movie.
I'm about to say, yeah, because the one that had the spikes in the front was Bone Crusher.
Yeah. Halius says Motu Origins, so more He-Man stuff. G Tony says I'd say Transformers Funko Pop. No way. I guess he bought some Funko Pops.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's working at a convention. That is the worst thing to sell. Or Funko Pops. Ugh.
Any news on Blitzwing? No, I don't have any news. I'm not like
if there was news on Blitzwing, it would be on every single form, even My Little Pony. Someone would put it on there to let us know.
Ryoshan says all the G.I. Joe classified, at least 2 of each boxed, 1 out, and then 1 handful. Wow, that's a lot of G.I. Joes.
Dude, I had
that's
to
a
find
lot of space.
Yeah,
that you have.
I found what was it? What was her name? Who's the one that came with the motorcycle?
Baroness.
I found like 7 of those for people. Like I hunted all over the valley using, what was it, Brick Seek and stuff.
I hate doing that. I hate the idea of like finding in the thing, going to the store, and it might still not be there when you get there. I hate that.
The one thing that bothered me the most is when, and this is with Target, I went online and I found that they had that Turtles in Disguise, that several friends who wanted that, their areas were scalped out. And I got there and it said there was 4 available. And I had a buddy that worked in the electronics section. He goes, yeah, one of our coworkers just bought all 4 and put them up. And like one offer up for $400 each. And I was sitting there being like, I would punch you in the face. I don't know.
I know that's a thing because at my my Target, they had in their own inventory system, they had 12 Breaker, the G.I. Joe bikes. They had 12, not like 3, 12 of these. And I go to the shelf and it's not there. And then I asked the guy, and he was like, "Yeah, we have them." And I was like, "Can I get it?" He was like, "Well, I can only give you one." I was like, "Okay, what are you going to do with the rest of them?" Like, put them on the shelf. And they never showed up. They never came to the shelf that whole week. They never showed up. So they either bought them or like sold them to friends or whatever, but they never showed up.
Yep.
12. That's a lot. All right, let's see. I got my wife hooked on Funko to distract from my own collecting.
Sounds like
says, that's a good distraction because then she's not looking at your Transformers. Newsflash says my wife will make space for me on the couch if I get.
Oh man.
Pure H has flame toys. That's another expensive one to get into if you're gonna do it.
Don't tell me about that. So just a word of advice with flame toys. Like I said, if you're gonna get the special editions that come out of D4 Toys, they are the same price as if you buy them retail for
they are?
the time with it. It is.
Oh.
But you're gonna pay crazy FedEx prices and shipping, which I'm pretty sure they're bumping up. So like I paid $479 or $475 pretty much to get him, and I had to sell and spin a lot of games to get him. I was not like I wasn't getting a normal one because I don't think he would have the same presence without that chainsaw. But yeah, that's one thing you got to be careful on. And I'm kind of, I don't know. Here's my thing.
It isn't a toy to be like constantly messed with, and like it's basically for display. You're not gonna play with it. You just pose it and display it, and that's it.
Yeah, like HasLab Unicron. It's just gonna sit there and look pretty.
But it doesn't break if you mess with it too much, right? It's
your shoulder doesn't explode like mine did. Yeah.
Wait, what exploded?
My shoulder on my Fallen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, next question. I think we did. I get your? You didn't get into anything new. You said.
Yeah, I'm really rigid. Like if I did, I'd have to sell my house.
All right. What about TFCon? Are you guys planning to go to any TFCons next year?
Yes, and I'll be working it.
Oh, you're gonna be working? You're volunteering, or?
No, I won't be working the event. I'll be working. So, I worked at a couple years. So basically, when this whole pandemic started, ToyCon in Las Vegas was like the last event. That's when I got to meet Frank and Peter. Got them to sign my Matrix. It's a really fun experience to work the event. So I worked it with my buddy Tim, who's the guy who created Transformers Game Group, and he's getting a small little booth there, and I'm also going with a few friends.
Nice.
But
what's his booth called?
I think he's actually just started calling it the Transformers Game Group because that's what it was called. It's either gonna be T4 Formers, which he's trying to get away from. I think he's just gonna. I think it's You're talking
about California, right?
It was Transformer Game Group.
TFCon LA.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be there for that, and I'm gonna work it as well with him. So yes, I will be there.
So TFCon LA, Mike, what do you think?
It's still up in the air for me, depending on how things go in the world and such. I mean, it's just
it might still get canceled.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, and Baltimore was my first TFCon, and it was great to meet a lot of people that you sit here and watch all the time. But some people were saying it didn't have the same feel as it did in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know. I have no basis on what that was, but I mean, I can go from the two of you and your experiences with it. If I can get a chance to go out to LA, then yes. If it's the Chicago one, I'm kind of up in the air on that one as well. So.
Yeah, the only reason I'm going to LA is because I'm going to bring my family, because there's Disneyland's out there, so I can make a vacation out of it. But normally I would never go that far for TFCon.
Yeah, it's next door for me, which is nice. That's because I mean, like, I found it funny. So you're
gonna drive.
Yeah, I'm not going to personally drive. I can't drive anymore. So just so people know, I'm actually visually impaired.
But I mean, you're going in a car
Yeah, because it's only like 6 hours. It's like driving to Vegas was 6 hours. That's the nice thing, but we don't get enough conventions. And for us, our Phoenix Fan Fusion has been canceled like 3 times and postponed. It was supposed to be like in May, then they pushed it back to November, and now they pushed it back to January.
Yeah.
And the way our numbers are going, it's probably going to get pushed back again.
Yeah. And it's possible these conventions might even get pulled.
Yeah.
If things get bad.
Especially in California.
Yeah. So I'm planning to go to LA. I don't know about Chicago. Probably not going to Chicago. Is there a third one? Oh, and then there's Toronto, which I will go to Toronto. This year I couldn't go because of it was just too strict. Like they wanted you to be vaccinated and you have to have a test within 24 hours, not even 48 hours, 24 hours from the time that you're crossing the border. And you have to have like, a reason to be there and be back. And I just want to deal with it. So I didn't bother, but next year I might go if things are better.
Yeah. We don't know. I mean, we don't even know now we're saying in March, but
yeah,
if people are having problems now trying to get tested just to do things for the winter and traveling, I mean, hopefully by then there'll be more testing and tests available overall for everyone. So
right. All right, last question, and then we're probably going to call it. It's 10 o'clock. Thanks for sticking with me all this time. You guys are plenty to say. What do you think Transformers is headed? Like, what do you think is coming out? Like, what direction are they going to go? Seems like G1 is kind of wrapping up. Where do you think we're going to get? If you had to guess.
I'll let you go first, Carl.
Well, I mean, we've got companies out there that are going to touch upon anything and everything. So you've got Fans Hobbies, who's pretty much doing like your Armada and your Japanese G1 continuation. I think they're going to be around for a while. I think in some instances it's tough because as soon as the G1 line is over, people will be done. Like I am very selective about like what I'm going to get.
Me too.
But I don't see this lasting much longer than probably 3 to 4 years. And I think this will be dried up and done.
Yeah, Bobby said something that kind of got under my not got under my skin. That's not the right word. It scared me a little. And this was actually 2 years ago, so it's old. But he said we're in the twilight of this, like meaning we're close to the end. Mm-hmm. But that was like 2 years ago now, and we're still not at the end. So.
Well, I think that's because back then companies weren't taking risks and doing the obscure
and now they are.
And so with X Transbots suddenly doing punch counter punch, runabout run amok, and now you're getting the continuation of like the movie characters, and now you've got people like MMC who are like, hey, nobody's touching IDW unless you're Iron Factory for Legends. They've got that niche, and so I think there are companies that can stay around for a little bit longer than others. But the question is like, where are you going to go as a company? Like, how far can Fans Toys go? How far can X Transbots go? Like, you always need a bit of good competition. And Bobby had a good video on it talking about what companies are left. So from the very beginning, Fans Toys and X Transbots, Mastermind Creations are really, and then, are probably the only major companies that are still around. And I just clumped X Transbots with KFC. It's the same company.
Yeah.
Different designers, but same company. But yeah, it's just, but now we're kind of seeing this influx, and I feel like we're seeing people just like trading off. Like Zeta is really like 5 different companies right now. The way that I look at it, I see that.
As long as they keep doing that and keep competing. I mean, we have a couple people in the comments saying still have a few more years. I think FT will be making figures for years. Still a lot of G1 figures left to do. I hope that's true. I hope they keep going because I like it. I like the competition. I like getting new stuff. I like seeing the advancement in engineering. But I don't know so it has to be profitable, and there has to be a business model that can support it. And as soon as there's not enough of us left buying it, that's when they're gonna move to something else.
Right. And that's another question too, or another comment in regards to what we're looking at is, this year was a lot of reissues, and that was great for individuals like me that are coming into it. But what are we going to do in the next 2 years? Or is it basically going to becoming a point where all I'm just going to do is get a figure just to replace another figure? Or is that going to be a tedious
Right.
venture for us as we get older? And like you said, the concern is there enough
Market.
interest coming in for the newer collectors to stick with it? That's a really good question to look at. And then looking at it as a more holistic aspect of it, we still have a bunch of movies that come up, but it's not really hitting that nostalgia niche. But that being said, it's individuals like me in my 40s that it's not striking. But you got a whole new generation that the only Transformers they know is the Bayverse.
Right.
And then you had the Bumblebee movie, which
And
was
Bumblebee,
successful.
Of course, Bumblebee.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Like you said, if Bobby was correct 2 years ago, or at least prophetic enough to say, all right, we're in the twilight part of this G1 aspect, but is it more like, is it a closeout, or is it just going to be a next transformation into
something else,
another part of the collection?
Different product. I think it will be, because these factories are set up to keep making something, right? They have the ability to make molds. They have the ability to get the supply for the materials they need. They have packaging. They have artists. They have everything they need. But maybe it won't be Transformers. It might be something else, or it might be, a different type of Transformers.
Right.
But you bring up a valid point, though. I think that's one thing that's been proven to help, though, is engineering. So you look at MP01, then MP10, MP44.
Right, they keep improving.
I think there are going to be certain characters, and I'm just fed up now just seeing like the same company, like same characters being done over and over.
Well, Tony says Takara pushing these MPs out so slow. Don't panic. But I don't think Takara is willing to take a risk. That's the problem. They're not willing to put out a character they don't think is going to get purchased in mass retail. They make 10,000 to 20,000 units. They want most of it to be sold. XTB, they have much smaller units, and they're willing to take a risk that maybe not everyone's going to buy this, but we're going to take a chance. I don't think Takara is willing to take a chance on, like, I don't know, some no-name figure.
But didn't Takara lose? I don't know if you put it like as Takara Hasbro. Didn't they lose like licensing to a big toy thing like Pokemon or something? So they lost a huge chunk of revenue.
Oh, you mean Hasbro?
Hasbro, I guess, in general. So like you would
Hasbro,
think that.
Yes, they lost Pokemon.
Yeah, they would want to.
But their properties, though, are making tons of money, though.
Oh yeah, I mean they own G.I. Joe. I mean, sadly, they can only just make a good movie.
Pavin says a lot of figs left to do, plus a bunch of old ones that need to be redone.
Yeah.
So as long as people are buying them,
yeah,
then what you're saying is true, and that'll keep us going. But if people stop buying, or just lose interest, or be like, what, I'm done, my collection's good, which I've actually heard a couple of people have texted me and said, hey, if I just finished my collection. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm done. I got everything I want, and I'm not buying anything. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what I was saying. I mean, are you going to get to a point in your collection where you're just basically waiting to swap out
right
for the next
Some people
thing?
don't want to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
But like, so my question would be this to people is, so we kind of mentioned the characters. So in the comments, tell me a character so whether it's G1 representation or whatever, one that has not even been brought up by anybody that you want to see made as a masterpiece. Like, I'm curious to know what people are still looking for.
Yeah. Because I mean, a lot of the big ones that, people have been asking forever, like the Omnibots, and like you said, the Runabout and Runamuck, I mean, they're finally out.
Yeah.
So to speak. But I can't think of a lot of others
with good feet. I don't want to hear that.
Frankie Lawless and Rusty Mechanic both said that the reissues, basically the pandemic was driving a lot of the collecting and the buying, because people were sitting at home. They're like, well, I want to buy stuff.
That's exactly how I got back into this.
They're making reissues and putting out new product, and now people are buying it. But what happens when the pandemic is over? Does that affect our buying? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, people were using fans' toys as like a currency. I didn't really appreciate that either.
Using, what's that
like
again?
Fans' toys figures, they were being used as like a currency.
So like,
yeah, that was really bothering me, and all the retailers, it's not fair to them where, because people are trying to buy up 15, 20 units and hold on to them and sell them for scalper prices where you can only buy 2.
Well, I think they fixed that now because they made more supply, or they increased the price to the point where it was not reasonable to make money off of it. All right. Well, I thank you guys for joining me. You gave me over an hour of your time.
So 8 o'clock for me.
What was that?
It's only
fun, actually.
Oh, it's early for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a whole night left.
Thanks to G Tony in the comments. I don't know if Dr. Diecast joined or not, but if you did, thank you. Mr. New Supply was there as well. I appreciate you. So you guys helped my channel go this year. So that's why I wanted to have you on, because you helped me make content. So I really appreciate that. So thank you, Mike. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, G Tony. Thank you, Dr. Diecast and New Supply.
And there will hopefully be more on the way.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Sitting on a boat.
So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We will probably not do a live until next year. So this will be the last live for this year. So we'll see you after the new year.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Later.
Right.